back within the Burbs with Amy and Gina and Miss Kimberly Parker, personal friend and neighbor of mine in Vickery Village.
She looks lovely. I love your pink sweater. You look beautiful, Kimberly.
Thank you, darling. I usually gravitate towards neutrals, but I'm thinking, hey.
It goes well with your neutrals.
It does.
All about color.
It's all about pop that we're going to talk about. But first, I'm going to tell people who
Tell us about
Kimmy
her.
is the lead designer and principal at the House of Henry Interiors. By the way, that's her Instagram. House of Henry Interiors. It's very beautiful. It's calming just to read it, to look at it. Born and raised in Atlanta, Kimmy moved to California just out of school where she climbed the corporate ladder. She raised 4 children. She has a set of twins, just so you know. And was a successful real estate agent, a realtor for 14 years. And during this time, she discovered that her true passion for interior design. After countless years of assisting corporate clients, families, and friends with their homes, she returned to Atlanta area to follow her passion. Kimmy now designs homes on both the East and West Coast and works tirelessly to dazzle her clients. And dazzle she does.
I can tell. I can tell just by seeing you on screen right now that you are a dazzler for sure. And isn't it interesting that real estate took you to this? Because my good friend Melissa, who's a real estate agent, she's very good at interior design, and I think she has a knack for it. And I think if you're going to sell somebody a home, it's nice that you have a knack for interior design as well.
I can see Kimmy saying, "Yeah, never going to sell this home when it looks like this."
Yeah, we got to take this sofa out of here. You're not going to sell it. So I like that, how that's connected. Well, thank you for joining us, Kimberly. And she is a super fan, and we are so happy about that.
Yes, and she's going to talk about, and then we'll turn it all over to you, Kimmy.
Yes.
We're going to talk about how anyone can use a designer. And you're going to tell us about that and how you can...
Not to be intimidated by using a designer. Yeah, not to be intimidated.
You don't have to do your whole house at first. Maybe. So talk about how people can ease into that and then go through each of these design plans that you did. And we'll show them as you talk about them.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, guys. I think that people, when you talk about hiring an interior designer, that people automatically go, well, that sounds a little bougie.
That sounds like $1 million.
Yeah. Do I pay my mortgage or do I redecorate? And I want people to know that you can actually do both. I mean, which is great because if you redecorate, you kind of want to keep it, right? So it doesn't have to be something that you're hiring a designer. It can be that if you go really high end with a designer and you're not clear on your budget. But I want people to know that, we all have different talents, and it is possible to hire a designer and to stay within budget, and to maybe hire a designer that gets a little more creative.
Yes.
So tell us about how you do that, starting with this dining room.
Don't we?
That was kind of a small space, and they wanted to pop it.
Exactly. With the first picture of the dining room. This client, there was a little, and oftentimes being a designer is also kind of being a counselor. I'm an average counselor. There's a very fine line, right? The husband was definitely keeping this dining room set. The wife was definitely not. And she just said, it's just so dark. I want something brighter. I want something that's, more contemporary, more inviting. And so, what we decided to do was, first thing is always, what is your budget? And give me 3 words of, what you want this room to feel like for you and for your guest. So once I got those kind of under control, I went in and decided we had to keep that dining room set.
that was forced upon you.
Love must have been one of the words. Love. I love.
Well, the other thing was, if you want separate dining rooms, I have an attorney you can call. But let's try to. So we did so, and they were really pleased. What we did, as you can see, was we kept the dark dining set. We incorporated the dark blinds, which originally the wife was saying more dark. What are we doing? A dark buffet. What are we doing? Dark paint. Yeah. But just the bright chairs, the bright rug, reupholstering those chairs. Really brought it completely back to life. And on top of that, they saved so much money that they're now doing 2 additional rooms that they didn't think they had money for.
That's how it starts. Yes. You're like, I love it. Okay, in the next space, Kimmy, you're talking about working with smaller spaces. That's what it looks like from this picture because this is such a darling, smaller space. Tell us about that space. It has the gold coffee table, golden glass coffee table.
Yeah. With that space is using items that, when I speak to clients, I say, with this budget, this is what we can do. Being very transparent and saying, if you want to buy everything brand new and you want all brand new items, we can do that, but that's going to raise your budget and being, super clear about that. Then I ask, are you okay with some gently pre-owned items? This does not mean cheap used items.
Right.
They we found on Facebook Marketplace, which I love, as well as estate sales. The 2 chairs that you'll notice in that room were actually found on Facebook Marketplace. What I did with those was, you have to be careful with upholstered items. And we got those professionally cleaned, but they had been sitting in someone's home who never entered the room they were in. So they're essentially brand new custom chairs from Ballard's.
Or can you see somebody moving from a home to a townhouse or a townhouse to a home or moving from Atlanta to the lake or to Utah and that whatever they have in their home, and sometimes it's very nice stuff, they have to get rid of all
in their new home. And you're like, you said, it's never been used.
And some of it's just...
Why would you not take advantage of that, right?
And a coffee table, it's like, who cares? But
even chairs.
I know my neighbor Michelle did that. She got all restoration hardware stuff from somebody moving from a condo to a home. All of it. She sold all of it. Okay, so that's a great idea, is being open-minded to
resale used items, gently used items, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, keeping in mind that you're also even helping with sustainability, which we're all very interested in, the kind of upcycling, if you will, and then adding things. When I found those chairs, those did not have the pillows, but guess what? I helped a small business because I looked up the fabric on Etsy and found the pillows to match those chairs on Etsy. So you're kind of like also helping a small business, and just, I feel like there's a way to design while also bringing good to the world with the products that you're choosing.
Okay, Kimmy, the next picture, and tell me if I'm wrong, it is, I think this is like, don't be scared to use of color. Possibly they're very print. It's an exciting kind of an animal print, really fun print.
Exactly. A lot of people are a little scared of color,
or design or print.
Exactly. As long as you're not, plastering. If you're fearful of color or print, I would say, don't start off wallpapering your entire room. Maybe start with a powder room, or a smaller piece of furniture, if you will.
Small, maybe just a pop here or there. See how you like it.
Exactly. And I think the more that you do that, you'll quickly find if you're that type of person or if you're not. But oftentimes, clients who say they're not very into a pop of color quickly learn that, when I walk into that room, that energizes me, that lifts me up, that just makes me feel good. Or that when people come to visit, they go, where did you find that? And so it quickly becomes a conversation piece. So don't be afraid of, trying something new, and 2, bold color or prints.
And I know sometimes I get sick of something bold. Guess what? Move it around. Like, how beautiful would those chairs be on the end of a dining room? Yeah. Like if you have it in your living room, or how pretty would that be in a guest bedroom or a little nook, like a reading nook. So if you have something that's a very classic neutral print, an animal print, and you're like, I've had it in my living room for a couple of years, move it around. You might be surprised.
Do you do that a lot where you walk in somebody's house and you say, okay, I love this chair, or I love this table, but I would love it much more if it was over there or on that corner. It's a beautiful piece. They just don't have it in the right place. So that's the thing. Yeah, like Amy was saying.
Exactly. And also, sometimes the mood, if you will, what room are you using this in? Is this to be more of a relaxing room? Is this for entryway? Is this for your bedroom? Think about where you're using the piece and what you always want your room to convey. Again, it's all about, for me, when I design, feeling. And, the places I design, I really want them to feel good first. Because I don't think anything will look good. And that even goes to what you're wearing if you don't feel good in it. So make sure that the room that you're putting something in, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel relaxed? Then maybe don't do the bold print in your bedroom. Mm-hmm. Is it a room where you entertain and you want to really be a vibrant space and welcoming space or an entryway? Perhaps start off with something like that there. And then you'll really quickly learn, how does this work for me? Do I want to use more of it?
All right, Kimmy, we only have 2 minutes. So I wanted to throw in really quickly that Kimmy also brings in things from the outside or just like a little string of lights somewhere. Like she knows how to make a room magical. Okay, and the last one is it's a heirloom display that the person hadn't even thought of doing. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Okay, I love when this particular client's a very sweet family, clients of mine. I'm doing their whole home. She has china from her grandmother.
I love that.
Aww.
And not only does she love it, but our very first meeting, she brought this china out from a cabinet out of boxes that she had to quickly pull the boxes out. And I said, I want to see your 3 favorite things to tell me about you and what you love. And she brought this out. And I was like, why are we hiding this?
Right.
A lot of things that people forget about are those special items that they have hidden away. So why don't we bring those items out and use them for a great display, conversation piece? But again, how does it make you feel? When she sees that hanging up, guess what? She gets that warm, fuzzy feeling of her great grandmother. Her daughter will get to see that. And I think it's just, really makes a house a home when you're able to do that. Plus, isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, it is.
So
but
gorgeous.
That's why it's important to have somebody like you, because I would have the plates and they would have this special meaning to me, and they would be in a box in my basement, and I would never
display them
because I don't have the talent to do that. So that's where you come in handy, having someone with the talent to come in your home and say, look what we can do to a wall and make it so elegant and memorable.
Oh my gosh,
fun.
I know, Kimmy, you'll have to come back. Okay, Ashley, we'll put up again. It's House of Henry Interiors on Instagram. And you can also, if you put in House of Henry Interiors on Google, it will navigate you. And it's Kimmy Parker. Kimmy, I think you've given us a lot of encouragement. And somebody's like, oh gosh, where do I start? You just start with one small space.
Start small.
Start small and have that be your favorite room. And then when you get comfortable with that and you save more money, you can start tackling, and with your ideas, it's
kind of addictive.
They can maybe move
it,
stuff
Kimmy?
around.
Once you get Kimmy in your home, I have a feeling it's going to be like, let's
she
do
makes
the
every
next room.
Space gorgeous.
It really is.
Thank you for joining us. Happy holidays to you and your family.
I love you. I'll see you for Christmas.
Of course.
Bye. Take care.
House of Henry Interiors.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's soothing to look at.
Well, Amy, this is it. We're sad.
Gosh, we're sad.
Came here to see your last show.
I know. We're sad. We're sad that
we gotta
go.
We'll see you in 2023. We love you. Please share
Merry
the
Christmas.
show.
Happy New Year.
And if you're
We
interested
love
in
y'all.
being a sponsor, reach out to us.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for joining Amy and Gina in the Burbs. Our stories are inspired by you. Join our community. You can follow and like us on our In the Burbs Facebook page, where we welcome your questions and comments. It's tough out there, but we're in this together.
The United Intentions Foundation and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and